Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
Good evening. The state government's war on red tape has brought the Premier to the pub, promising to streamline approvals for liquor licences. But when it comes to recycling refunds, impending price rises for drinks have the opposition in a fizz.
Tasmania's new container deposit scheme has driven Labor to drink.
73.
That price will go up $6.50 in a month and a half when 21 cents is tacked onto the price of every can to cover the 10-cent refund if it's returned to a collection point.
We supported a container deposit scheme years ago. What we've ended up with is the most expensive scheme in Australia, not by a little bit, but by 50%, and the costs are going to be felt by every Tasmanian.
The Premier pouring cold beer on what he labels a Labor fair campaign.
That's a very good beer.
That will go very well with the chips and gravy.
Although he's not arguing with the expense of the scheme compared to other states.
Reducing litter by 50% is not worse off. Reducing litter by 50% is a good thing.
Sharing a beer with the Deputy Premier as their red tape road trip takes them to Latrobe's Royal Hotel with a promise to streamline the liquor licensing process.
Licensing applications can be cumbersome, can take a large amount of time to come through, and this will allow us to know and to plan and to be more proactive.
A major overhaul will deliver a simpler digital application process with new categories tailored for smaller operators.
Submit your application, you can track your progress and receive that licence quicker.
Applications not finalised within 10 days will be automatically approved.
And this will absolutely make it easier and fairer and simpler to get on with the job.
Nick Kelly, 7 Tasmania News.
The state government has thanked more than 1,000 first responders who've battled blazes on the west coast. A tent city in Tulla for interstate crews has been packed down, with support personnel now returning to the mainland. The West Coast fires have been alight since early February and continue to burn, destroying almost 100,000 hectares. Thousands of anti-salmon protesters have filled Verona Sands Beach 1 month on from where dead salmon debris began washing ashore. The group calling for government action and for an independent inquiry into the handling of mass salmon deaths at Tasmanian fish farms.
Lining Verona Sands Beach to mark an ugly milestone.
Today marks exactly 1 month to the day that the fat balls started washing up on Verona Sands, and then shortly after that we saw carcasses washing up on Bruny Island.
Nearly 2,000 anti-salmon protesters braving chilly waters, wind and rain, calling for an end to the salmon industry following the recent mass mortality event at Tasmanian fish farms.
What's happening in our waterways is no longer considered tolerable. There is no social licence for this industry and things will only get worse.
Disturbing vision showing dead salmon and debris washing up on local shores, dominating social media over recent weeks. These locals calling for someone to be held accountable.
I've come all the way from Wynyard for this.
I'm totally appalled at the way that our politicians are treating this whole circumstance.
The Premier today reiterating the industry has an important place in Tasmania.
It's a very important industry for rural and regional Tasmania, employing many thousands of people.
The EPA says it's continuing to investigate the oily substance and the circumstances that led to it washing up on beaches across Tasmania. Authorities also continuing to collect samples of the material, but the advice for the public's to stay away.
But these residents say the government and the EPA are on notice.
We need an independent inquiry. We need an independent inquiry that will examine the EPA's actions as well.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
This year's final 2 Glover Prizes have been handed down at Evandale, chosen by popular vote. The People's Choice and Children's Choice Awards give a say to visitors to the exhibition, and there were very clear winners.
Very consistent lead for the winner from the very first day, yes.
It's interesting to see who likes what, and this year there are 6 prizes in total and they all go to 6 different artists.
The kids picking out Launceston local Leonie Duff's Bad Moon Rising, a depiction of the fountain in City Park. Emerald Amidst the Ashes by Victorian painter Todd Simpson, the People's Choice winner. It's not the kind of partnership you see every day, but a well-loved Tasmanian exercise studio is hoping to do its bit to support women in the workforce. Happy Studios banding together with a Hobart car dealership, raising money for a vital charity.
International Women's Day might have wrapped up last week, but the goal to uplift women continues.
It's low impact, high energy, I would say. We'll definitely feel like a nice Pilates burn.
80 women spending their Sunday morning building strength on and off the mat.
We're all here to connect and celebrate each other and donate to a really amazing cause.
The cause raising money for local charity Dress for Success, the organisation providing formal clothing and styling for women looking to enter the workforce.
There are so many different things that women face when they're entering into work, a lot of challenges, and it can be as simple as finding the right clothes to wear to an interview.
The sea of red and pink taking over a Hobart car showroom, highlighting the barriers women in the automotive industry face.
Less than 30% of positions in automotive are represented by women, particularly at the top level.
The sweat session raising more than $4,000.
It's events like this and fundraisers like this that are absolutely critical to making sure that we can continue to do the work that we do here in Tasmania.
All in a mission to lend a helping hand. Lily Thompson, 7 Tasmania News.
The state's top young karate athletes were put through their paces this weekend as the Northern Classic Karate Championships hit Scotch Oakburn College. For some, it's a first chance to put their training into practice, while others are fighting for national selection.
There's a lot of emotion and stuff that goes into karate, and when I do different things like kata and kumite, I feel really powerful in what I do.
Some of our more dedicated kids are in training every single day if they can, and it's a good opportunity for them to sort of demonstrate focus, discipline, respect.
There's more to it than fighting. A display of technique is just as important. North Hobart have been crowned winners of the Women's Cricket Premier League, beating the Greater Northern Raiders by 57 runs. Playing in Launceston, Australian-capped batter Naomi Stallenberg proved vital for the Demons, knocking a half-century. North Hobart will lift the trophy for a second time in a row after a default win when last year's final was abandoned. Tasmania has New South Wales on the ropes in the Sheffield Shield. A century from skipper Jordan Sill guiding his team to a respectable total early on day 2 of their final match, setting a 332-run target for New South Wales in the day-nighter at Ninja Stadium. Sam Constas, the first visitor to fall for 5 runs, but it wasn't long before Tassie was halfway through the visitors' order, thanks to 2 quick wickets from Bo Webster.
For himself. And he's bowled in. Webster's gone straight through him. Davies has gone. New South Wales are collapsing here.
New South Wales continue their run chase this evening, still trailing by 206 runs with 5 wickets in hand.
Good evening. Hobart and Burnie saw both 18 today, 23 in Launceston and 21 in Devonport. 25 the high in St Helens, Friendly Beaches 24, 20 on Flinders Island and at Lowhead, King Island and Smithton 18, 17 for Grove and Ooh, 16 in Strawn and just 12 degrees in Lyowini. Overcast skies were seen over parts of the east coast and Flinders Island today. 64 millimetres fell at Darwin Dam on the west coast in the 24 hours to 9 a.m. Mid to high level cloud is also seen over southern parts of Australia, while patchy low level cloud sits over the Bight, Tasmania and coastal parts of Victoria and South Australia. Tomorrow, a cold front will approach the northern coast of New South Wales as a trough lies over southern Queensland. West-southwesterly winds in northern and southern waters tomorrow, increasing up to 30 knots, with southwesterly spells building to 5.5 metres. That strong wind warning continues for all coastal waters across the state tomorrow, to include Storm Bay and the Channel. There is also a warning to sheep graziers in the southeast due to cold temperatures, showers and westerly winds. Hobart, you're in for a cloudy day tomorrow. 17's the top, 17 also in Dover with a possible shower. Ooze cloudy with 16 there. 19 and cloudy in Launceston, 18 and partly cloudy in Devonport and also Scottsdale. A bit of cloud for Burnie and Stanley, 17. A couple of showers in Strawn with 17 also. St Helens and Swansea, 19. Cloudy too, and similar conditions in Ross with 17 the maximum. Light showers about the west are expected on Tuesday, but it should be fine elsewhere. Some patchy inland fog at first on Wednesday, followed by light morning showers about the west. And on Thursday, more showers developing about the west, extending statewide throughout the afternoon. To mainland conditions now for tomorrow. 35 in Broome and Alice Springs. Fine in Perth, 31. A few showers on the way for Darwin with 33 degrees. Partly cloudy across the state. Hobart and Devonport both 12 degrees and 15 in Launceston. Enjoy what remains of our extended daylight loo as we will switch our clocks back in just 3 weeks' time, unfortunately.
And that's all your news for this Sunday night. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.